A 300-word cover letter, an org chart, a pre-recorded 1-minute video, and a spontaneous video question. In some ways, MIT Sloan has a radically different approach to MBA essays and quotes, but it's also somewhat conventional, and you have an opportunity to showcase all of yourself. You can share your whole profile. Let's start with that cover letter, and bear with me because it is quite a bear. MIT Sloan seeks students whose personal characteristics demonstrate that they will make the most of the incredible opportunities at MIT, both academic and non-academic. We're on a quest to find those whose presence will enhance the experience of other students. We seek thoughtful leaders with exceptional intellectual abilities and the drive and determination to put their stamp on the world. We welcome people who are independent, authentic, and fearlessly creative true doers. We want people who can redefine solutions to conventional problems and strive to preempt unconventional dilemmas with cutting-edge ideas. We demand integrity and respect passion. Taking the above into consideration, please submit a cover letter seeking a place in the MIT Sloan MBA program. Your letter should conform to a standard business correspondence, including one or more professional examples that illustrate why you meet the desired criteria above, and be addressed to the admissions committee, 300 words or fewer excluding address and salutation. Okay, before you start writing, it's important to understand that Sloan has a philosophy that past is prologue, meaning that the best indicator of one's future success is evidence of their past success. Still, Sloan is not terribly interested in learning precisely what your aspirations for the future are. Understanding that goals can change quickly, the AdCom just doesn't put much stock in what you claim as your career goals when assessing your candidacy. And they're on the record saying that repeatedly. So given the minimal word count for the cover letter, it's not particularly valuable to use multiple sentences outlining career goals that might never happen. So what should you include in the cover letter? In short, clear examples of things you've accomplished. Remember, they specifically ask for professional examples. As you consider yours, ask yourself if you're truly exemplifying the traits that MIT Sloan seeks. Are you independent, authentic, and fearlessly creative? Are you a true doer? Have you redefined solutions to conventional problems or strive to preempt unconventional dilemmas with cutting-edge ideas? If you lean on your best professional stories, you should be able to reveal these traits. Of course, you shouldn't just share a work accomplishment or two. They need to be part of a narrative about who you fundamentally are as a professional and how that corresponds with those traits. MIT Sloan also wants to see your level of commitment to attending their school, MIT Sloan. So you should use 50 or so words, maybe a little bit more, to discuss with detail the elements of the Sloan experience you find most appealing. Particular courses, clubs, faculty members, conferences, or something else entirely. You should take note of them and include them in your cover letter. Please don't say that you're applying to MIT because of its quantitative rigor. Yes, MIT has a history of being a school for engineers, but it's got a whole lot more now. And by offering up that cliche, you might actually negatively identify yourself. Complementing the cover letter is a short essay that may be the most traditional part of the Sloan application. The question is, and I should note we're skipping a small preamble, how has the world you come from shaped who you are today? For example, your family, culture, community all help to shape aspects of your life experience and perspective. Please use this opportunity to share more about your background. This is a diversity essay, and if you're panicked now thinking, but I'm not that diverse, that's okay. You just need to be thoughtful about where you came from and the values that you embody. Your story can be about how you moved around a lot or had a working parent, or you can even tactfully say that you were indulged growing up and needed to learn to stand on your own feet. You can share your national, ethnic, religious background. All of that is fine, but share it not as a fact, but as an influence. The idea here is that we learned about what has shaped you. Your narrative needs a cause and effect to be effective. I should note that I actually discuss diversity essays in depth in On Track by mbaMission, our on-demand admissions platform. There are also sample essays to review that should help with this question, and 2 full modules over a dozen lessons on Sloan itself, plus hundreds of lessons on every aspect of the MBA application process. Be sure to check it out. Next, MIT Sloan asks you for your company's organizational chart. Yes, they do. While this is a unique request for an MBA application, for most applicants, the org chart will be quite standard. Don't try to embellish your role or title. To the extent you can, make sure to highlight your recommender on the chart to explain the relationship you have with that person. Just show the chain of command visually. On to the video components. Sloan has 2 video questions. One that you'll prepare in advance to be submitted with your application, and another spontaneous question that's provided after you've completed all other parts of your application and press submit. Let's start with the first video question, which you'll prepare ahead of time. The prompt is, introduce yourself to your future classmates. Here's your chance to put a face with a name. Let your personality shine through, be conversational, be yourself. We can't wait to meet you. Per MIT Sloan's instructions, you have 1 minute. Your video has to be recorded in a single take, no editing. You should speak directly into the camera and shouldn't include background music or subtitles. And while your setting isn't that important, I would say that it can be additive. So if you've been working from your company's Santiago, Chile office for 6 months, consider making the city part of your setting. If you were working for a toy manufacturer, maybe shoot in the factory. You don't need to think that carefully about background, but background can help reinforce a differentiator where possible. Still, more important than style is substance. Try thinking of this video as an opportunity to let your future classmates know who you are in an informal way. Imagine that you're speaking directly to your peers and focus on that which is interesting, unique, even quirky in a good way, and that which is not found elsewhere in your application. No bragging. What are you most proud of? What excites you? What can you offer those around you? This is the content that will breathe life into your video essay. Now let's talk about the second video question, which pops up once the rest of the application is submitted. All MBA applicants will be prompted to respond to a randomly generated open-ended question. The question is designed to help the MIT Sloan Admissions Committee get to know you better, to see how you express yourself, and to assess fit with the MIT Sloan culture. It does not require prior preparation. Video Essay 2 is part of your required application materials and will appear as a page within the application once the other parts of your application are completed. Applicants are given 10 seconds to prepare for a 60-second response. A key point here is that you are given only 10 seconds to prepare. 10 seconds. That is barely enough time to catch your breath, let alone to prepare a long and complex answer. Think of this question as a fairly standard behavioral question you would see in a live interview. These kinds of questions start with something like, tell me about a time when, or describe a time when, or tell me about a situation where, followed by a calling for an example of leadership, teamwork, or overcoming an obstacle. To prepare for this, review some sample behavioral questions, which can be found in our MIT Sloan interview guide, or check out OnTrack, which includes a tool for practicing school-specific video questions and interview questions. And be sure to check out our next video on how to prepare for MBA video interviews.